Wow, I feel like this Ramot is really going to be a problem down the road. Just a gut feeling I have, but we also get to see Killua and he'll use his lightning power.
Hunter, Hunter, episode 81. The fight begins.
Ho ho ho, is it going to explode? Well, hello, my brothers and sisters and hunters and Chimera Ant foot soldiers and squadron leaders and people that live in the NGL of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the excellent and disturbing and just really well-written tale of Hunter x Hunter. Now, Now, our last several episodes have really focused more on just kind of the building and developing of the Chimera Ant characters, the squadron leaders, even some of the foot soldiers, and really that's been the focus. That's been the main focus. Of course, in the last episode, we did get the flashback on the the kind of the underworld leader of the NGL, Gyro, and obviously him disappearing. We presume to have been captured and brought to the Chimera Ant Queen, but really. At the end of the day and at the end of the episode, it was Kite, Gon, and Killua coming upon not Ponzu but Pakkel's body and just kind of having an idea that there's more than meets the eye here, as they found a bullet casing and presumed that to be have been used by a Chimera Ant. So that's how things left off, and things actually pick up. This is a very, very good episode, and really. The writing of Togashi and the characters and the development is so great because there's just such... they draw so many different parallels to things that are actually happening. You have like the hive and the insect thing with the Chimera Ants as far as just kind of their behavioral patterns and things that they would do, right? Which makes ants very, very strong because of the fact that they're unified, right? But then you go and you take into account that now they're starting to, as the Chimera Ant Queen is birthing these different kind of almost like inbred ones, I guess you would call, with humans and other types of animals. You see many of these squadron leaders, even some of the soldiers that are starting to take on these individual personalities of their own. And although the individuality is good in a sense, it's also bad because it ruins that kind of sense of togetherness and community, and everybody has their job and they just sort of do it without asking questions, without question. They want names, they're asking questions, they're defying the orders that are given to them, and that's what, that's what I see is ultimately going to be their weakness and their downfall. And maybe I'm looking too far into the future because the queen hasn't even given birth to the king yet and everything else. But that for me was what the main focus was. I mean, how the first, I don't know, almost half of the episode wound up being a team leader, a squadron leader meeting of the minds, if you may, with the Chimera Ants, Peggy and again, a lot of these look, I keep saying this, but a lot of them do. They look like Skylanders to me. But Colt, which was obviously the first one that was kind of that human Chimera Ant hybrid amalgamation that he was. And he has an interesting story, too, because he has like this inner set of like morals and values, from being a human, right? But at the same time, that loyalty and that moral and values that he has, of course, to the Chimera Ant Queen is for just this despicable purpose, But he's so grounded in what he wants to do. It's just it's so very cool to see this, The main focus, though, of this one is that they're talking about in this meeting about how Ramot is one of the soldiers is kind of going off and doing his own thing, and I think he's with Colt's squad, or maybe Colt just is overseeing all the squads now as kind of like a general. I don't really know. But I also know that the Chimera Ant Queen wound up upping their quota of 50 humans a day to 100 humans a day, and that's really what the meeting was about. Zazan, the very sexy Chimera Ant with the poisonous stinger tail, winds up talking about how obviously she captured, Ponzu, and well, of course they don't know his name, but she says that one of these humans with all this life force energy flowing through them is worth 1,000 regular humans, So then they all start thinking about it, and they're like, oh man, well, okay, so basically if we just catch one of these rare ones, then we're cool for the next 9 days. So they're already getting to the point where they're only wanting to do the bare minimum. This is the quota, now it's going to be this. There's ones complaining about it. Again, this is that individuality, that kind of human nature that's coming out in these things that unfortunately is going to be the downfall. Instead of just following orders and doing what they're told, they're questioning orders. they're doing the bare minimum, you know? And that's what, like I said, what a lot of this focus is on here. So anyway, so Colt says, listen, I'm going to go take care of Ramit. We can't have dissension amongst the ranks. It looks bad for others, you know? And in Gon, Kite, and Killua, we wind up seeing them a little more in this episode, but really, other than at the beginning and them kind of going and trying to track down and see where they can go and find some more of these Chimera ants, there's not a lot of them until you wind up seeing them kind of towards the end. Now, Ramit, we wind up seeing, he's all pissed off because he can't eat humans. He's told he can't. So there's this village of decimated, you know, that obviously they came through and decimated and took the humans. And he's over munching on a horse, eating a horse, right? And he's all pissed off because he can't eat humans because he's told he can't, you know? But he's already kind of bucking the chain of command and being like, oh, I'll do what the hell I want, right? Anyway, Colt winds up going and coming upon him, but he kind of stays up in the trees because he's like, wait, what's that? And he feels or notices something else, another presence. Then they go and they show us Kite and Gon and Killua, and they've come into this town now. They're seeing the decimation, they're seeing the blood, the destruction, the trail of blood for where Ramit dragged the horse off. They wind up coming into this clearing and actually seeing 3 horses stuck up on pikes, right? And we wind up getting a little bit of a backdrop on that, you know, and Kite talks about this certain type of, I believe it's a bird that goes and takes its prey and goes and puts it onto sharp sticks and things like that. And I don't know if it's to eat it for later or to warn other, you know, predators this is their territory. I don't know. I just know that Ramit's ass winds up appearing, right? And this dude's pretty scary looking, man. This guy's got he's got these big, like, troll-like ears or whatever, but just the way he's got these sharp teeth and this kind of pad, he just sort of has this blood look to him, this bloodthirsty, and so far, he's, at least out of the ones that we've seen, he seems to be one of the most bloodthirsty Chimera ants, and he's just a soldier, he's not even a squad leader. Anyway, you know, as you can imagine, a fight winds up ensuing. Kite actually goes and steps back. I wanted to see Kite in action again, and I was a little upset we didn't, but I understand where he was coming from. Kite takes a step back, tells Gon and Killua, you take him out, this is just a regular Chimera ant soldier. We're going to encounter tons of these, and if you can't take one of these out, you're not strong enough to be here, you're going to have to leave, right? So Gon and Killua, of course, are like, fuck that, we're up to the task. They start coming at him, and they're actually pretty much getting handily bitch-slapped around by this Ramit, and then Killua goes and jumps up into the air, man, and winds up going and using what he's been practicing, and he just... And we wind up seeing his Thunderbolt thing. I like AC/DC, the band, so I say Thunderstruck, because he just... And he just... I mean, this thing's... And Ramit's just sitting there shaking, and while he's sitting there just shaking, being electrocuted, right? Gon comes up, and he's just... Rock! Paper! Rock! And just jacks him up, man. Hits him up into the air, and we're thinking, man, this thing's gonna be dead, right? All of a sudden, this thing goes and gets swooped out of the air, you know, grabbed by Colt and taken off into the sunset. And this thing's still alive, and he's beaten pretty bad, and we see later on that he's pretty much near death, but those 2 ultimate attacks, I guess you would say, at least for Killua and Gon right now. That's kind of the moves they've been working on. And they wind up doing it, and they're amazed that this thing isn't dead. And it's shouting obscenities, and I'm gonna come back and eat you, I'm gonna kill you, as Colt's taking it away. So, Kite goes and tells Gon and Killua, hey, listen, you guys did alright, don't worry about it, you know, your moves, you're gonna have to work hard, you're gonna have to improve. And we know, from the beginning of this series to now, it's really been a lot of times it comes back around to you're not strong enough and you need to get stronger somehow or another. You need to train, you need to figure out more about your nen, whatever. You need to strengthen your abilities and your overall mental and physical strength. But at the end of the episode, we wind up seeing Colt, of course, go back, and he's trying to go and kind of reprimand Ramit for what he did, and Ramit's talking about, no, and I'm gonna go and kill them, and Colt's like, well, you can kill, or you can go ahead and kill them, but you're not gonna eat them. You're gonna bring them to the queen. She wants that sustenance. And, you know, because they're rare in this net, and he's like, screw that, I'm gonna kill them and eat them, and I'm gonna shit on their heads and all this other stuff, and he's mad, right? Again, that individuality coming out, not listening, bucking the chain of command. And he even goes and tells me, he says, every squad does that. Every squad kills for fun. Yeah, sure, we get our quota done, but we hunt, we kill, we do that. That's what we do. We do us, right? And Colt goes and winds up saying, okay, that kind of disturbs him. He goes and talks to some of the other squad leaders. Now they're all operating at different times. They've got 3 shifts working around the clock. They can't get everybody together. But he winds up going and talking to a couple of the other ones, and you know, basically says, hey, listen, is this what goes on? And they say, well, yeah, it does. But you know what? We make our quota, and we still have some fun. What's wrong with that? And Colt's at that point where I think he realizes he can't control them anymore and that they're really bucking the chain of command and that there really is no chain of command in a lot of senses. So now he's trying to make deals with them. Well, if you kill one of the rare humans, go ahead and kill humans. Do whatever you want with that. But if you get one of the rare humans, make sure you bring it for the queen, you know? Oh, okay, so now he's compromising. He's compromising, and anybody who's ever been in a military-like environment, you don't compromise. The general doesn't go and say to a sergeant, well, I see your point of view, and I'm going to change my mind because, you know, you didn't really want to do this. That's not how the shit goes down. You're given an order, you follow it unconditionally. That's how things work, and that's how a chain of command works. This is not working out very well, and you can see, again, that I feel like this is going to be one of their downfalls, you know? So, a very, very cool episode, and really, I tell you, man, the squadron leaders that you see of these Chimera ants are so cool, even some of the soldier ants that are getting some screen time. But anyway, that's how the episode ends off. My episode question for you, though, brothers and sisters, is what are your thoughts on Gon and Killua both together not even being able to kill one soldier ant? I mean, they have got a long journey ahead of them. I mean, Kite even says, win or lose, this is going to be hell, right? So, what are your thoughts on number one, I guess that statement, win or lose, we're going to go through hell. And number two, Gon and Killua, you know, our main characters, not even being able to take down and kill. I mean, they wounded him pretty bad, but not even being able to kill a soldier ant. So, let me know what your answer is to that question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We'll look forward to catching all of you in the next Fun Nation.
None of this would be possible without all of you and all of your support, so thank you from the bottom of my heart.